Well, hello people, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Over the last 10 years of playing Cities Skylines, you might have noticed that a lot of the unique buildings look quite familiar, and that's because many of them are inspired by real-world landmarks. So today I thought it would be a fun idea to dive into the list of the Cities Skylines buildings that are based on real-life structures, complete with their locations. Maybe this video can help give you some inspiration as to how to use these assets in the game based on their real-life locations. So today I'm talking about just official assets, nothing from the workshop or made by content creators. This is just stuff released by Colossal Order. First of all, we have the aquarium, which is actually the Osaka Aquarium in Japan. This is such a unique shaped building and probably one of the harder assets to use in Cities Skylines. But in Osaka, this enormous aquarium sits nicely in an open plaza on a waterfront with lots of commercial around it. Super inspiring way to use this asset in the game. Next, we have the in-game Opera House, which is also known as the Palau de la Arts Reina Sofia, which I've probably absolutely butchered that name. This very modern looking opera house can be found in Valencia, Spain. It has a super futuristic vibe and has some incredible landscaping around it, really super inspiring for how to place this building in Cities Skylines and things you can place around it. Lots of greenbelt and modern park infrastructure surrounds this stunning opera house in Valencia. I'm sure many of us have placed the business park before, and this one's probably the most obvious real-world connection, based off of the Gateway Arch, of course, in St. Louis, Missouri. You can't really mistake this asset for anything else, can you? Sits right up against the waterfront with lots of greenbelt around it. Really nice centerpiece asset for your downtown areas. Next up, the Posh Mall is known as Namba Parks, back in Osaka again, Japan. Kind of funny how we have two Osaka buildings in there, isn't it? But it has this wonderful little terraced green design which is perfect for that kind of green cities vibe or eco-friendly design you want to bring into a city. The Expo Center is modelled off of the Hong Kong Convention Center, and with that super distinctly curved roof. This is one of my favourite assets in the game and gives you that kind of chunky conference infrastructure, which I think is quite nice for a commercial sector. Next up, not a unique building, but instead the Sauna, which is actually modelled off of the Rajaporti Sauna in Tampere, Finland, of course where the game is developed. And it's really nice to not only see these huge, massive bits of infrastructure, but these smaller, cute little service buildings also taken from real life as well. After this we come to the Grand Library, which is one of my favourite assets, and this is inspired, not a full replication, but definitely inspired by the Surrey City Centre Library in British Columbia, Canada. Super modern design that can work in so many different builds. And because it also doesn't really look like a library, you can kind of repurpose it into being something else, maybe where a library wouldn't be quite appropriate. Next up is the Academic Library, which is based roughly off of the Library of Congress in Washington DC. A super old looking building with lots of stone columns and domes on it. Definitely more of an educational or kind of government looking building. This works great in those kind of government administration districts. Next up we have the hospital, which is actually based off of the Children's Hospital in Phoenix, something we're quite familiar with on this channel. And indeed, we actually took a lot of inspiration from this hospital during our ILOS build, which of course was inspired by Phoenix, Arizona. Really distinctive building, especially with that big medical symbol on the front of it. Kind of fun to see this one in the real life actually. This asset probably looks most like a video game asset, I would say, but kind of fun that it is actually inspired by a real world bit of infrastructure. Turning our attention toward the Cathedral next. Of course, such a distinctive looking European asset, but this one is actually based off St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. Super gothic style and reminds me a little bit of Anor Londo for any Dark Souls fans watching. On the topic of the cathedral, I do wish the game had received some more religious buildings. They're definitely something you see across so many cities across the world. But we did just get the one cathedral from Colossal Order. For our next building, the Courthouse, we are also staying in New York. This very peculiar shaped building is modelled on the New York City Courthouse. Right in the middle of the city, super densely packed, great way to feature such a huge asset right in your city centres. Turning our attention next towards oppression in the form of the Oppression Office, which is actually modelled off of the Baltimore City Hall. Shout out to any Wire fans watching the video. This is one of those assets I like to refer to as a town hall, kind of a centre of administration for an area. Town centre building is the best way to summarise this, I think, and it's kind of fun to see it actually was inspired by a real life city hall in Baltimore. Next up, we have the level 5 unique building, the Science Center, which is modelled off of the National Museum of Emerging Science and Innovation in Tokyo, Japan. Super futuristic looking building that also pairs very nicely with the Expo Center. Kind of has a similar look and shape to it, so these assets always go nicely together. Next up is the tiny stadium from the base game, which has a rough resemblance to the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. This definitely isn't a thorough replication, but there's certainly some inspiration taken from this stadium in the States. And lastly, we have the Grand Mall, easily one of the most unique looking assets in Cities Skylines, with a huge cavity in the middle of it. And this one is a straight up replication of Infinity by Crown, a very luxurious apartment block in Sydney, Australia. Also, where they host Married at First Sight Australia as well. Don't ask me how I know that. But otherwise guys, that will do it for today. I hope you managed to find some inspiration on how to use what are some pretty interesting and hard to use assets. And seeing them in the real world, they're maybe not quite as aligned as you think they might be. Did you know all of these buildings? So let me know if you learned some new ones today. And did I miss any out? I think I caught them all, but maybe there is some sneaky little buildings that are taken from real life as well. Head down to Patreon at Instant Gaming, linked in the video description if you want a bit more from the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.